released players. Gaston Sereno is among them. He's out. Jersey number 10 at Sundowns will no longer be there. Also, we reflect back at the life of Justin Shonga. The former Orlando Pirates player is no more. Mazala Molefe will come in with some of the big breaking news that you want to hear and get all the details on. He'll have all of those. He's coming up in just a bit and we'll talk to him. The ref is here as well. There's some new rules that are going to be covered, that are going to be coming in beginning of the season. So he'll talk to us about that. The Austrian Grand Prix, the drama in the Austrian Grand Prix. We'll talk a little bit about that. Max Verstappen, of course, on what went wrong. You're more than welcome to speak about the T20, but we'll go into more detail on the T20 tomorrow, hopefully with Cass Naidu. Jude Bellingham scoring a stunner of an overhead kick and has a rant and an entire feast at us journalists. I guess I count as well because I am in that sphere, isn't it? But let's be honest, England have been below par. Yes, they won. And you got Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham scoring. They're big two players, but they have not been great. Brazil in the Copa. Hey, they woke up. Vinny with 2 goals. They won by 4 goals. Argentina, though, they won again, and this time without Messi on the field. They'd rested him in that game. There's a lot to talk about. You're more than welcome to join us in conversation. 086 0002160. WhatsApp on 060 552 7303. It's the weekend that was. It's Monday, and the 3 wise men are here.
The 3 wise men, but not always so wise. On Sports Night Amplified with Mdile on Metro FM. Hashtag the weekend that was.
That is the final whistle.
On Sports Night Amplified with Mdile on Metro FM. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. Join us in celebrating Mandela Month.
Our daily duties as ordinary South Africans,
honoring the life and legacy of a global icon,
must produce an actual South African reality.
Together, let's make a difference. Metro FM.
All this we owe both to ourselves,
celebrating the legacy of Nelson Mandela,
and to the peoples of the world.
It's where you want to be.
Turn it up.
For today's chart toppers, we've got your urban fix covered 24/7. Metro FM, it's where you want to be. The 3 wise men, but not always so wise. On Sports Night Amplified with Mdile on Metro FM.
Listen, I've watched a lot of television. I've watched a lot of documentaries. I've watched, and I'm a documentaries person, international documentaries, etc. Dr. Kumalo had a documentary, thoroughly enjoyed the access into his life there. What else? You know, David Beckham, awesome. I relived a lot of moments of my youth growing up as a Manchester United fan, watching that. Of course, there was the Michael Jordan documentary, possibly the greatest documentary ever done, right? But there's a 3-part documentary on Orlando Pirates that is currently out. There's nothing like that on television. There's absolutely nothing like that on television. Congratulations. Well done, Drimnyama Pagania. That is access that gives the fans what they want. It gives the fans access. Things like that can only but grow the game. It can only but grow the game. You feel like you know the players. You feel close to the team. They let it all hang out. Hey, Matot, did you hear what Kermit Erasmus says? Hey? What about the fight? When he fight, Tito Likogi. Paseka Mako speaks his mind, gents. I don't know. Jersey number 3 or a lodge. I don't jersey number 3 unjalo. Aye. Shandu tries to speak nicely there. Please bring Mazola on the line. Mazola Molefe is the referee. The 3 wise men are here. Let me introduce them before I go into this monologue of just excitement, guys. You know, my kids are on holiday right now, and it's hard to watch anything. Ne? Hey, Mara, I'm watching this thing, guys. Hey, it's the 3 wise men on a Monday.
The 3 wise men, but not always so wise. On Sports Night Amplified with Mdile on Metro FM.
Mazala Molefe and the principal are in the building. Principal, I know you don't have much content. There isn't a lot happening in soccer at the moment, but you do have rules, right? That's what you're going to be talking to us about.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about the new amendments to the FIFA laws of the game that come into effect today, the 1st of July.
There's new rules that we need to be aware of, yes, and you're going to tell us about 1 or 2 of them.
Definitely.
All right, cool. Mazala Molefe, still watching the Cosafa. Bafana yet to win a game. They've scored 1 goal, and it's dire at the moment.
Yeah, it's dire, but no, I'm not here to tell you about the rules. That's what every off-season he's telling you about the new rules coming into effect. Obviously, a lot is happening. A lot of the stuff the stories that we broke over the last couple of weeks, clubs now coming out and confirming it. I suppose Dustin Ferrigno, the coach, had been on the show to tell us that.
Yeah, we knew. If you listened to the show, you knew that was happening.
Yeah, we knew that was happening. Brian Onyango, the one shocker still being Bongani Zungu, obviously, because we thought the option on his contract would be taken. Thabiso Kutumela coming back from Cape Town City on loan, also being let go. But we'll get more into that. We've got other developing news as well as those that have been making the rounds.
You have to tell us about the Mendieta story too.
Yeah, Mendieta, crazy stuff. Obviously, he'd been given a break along with the other players. Some of them trickled in today at Plurkop for medicals. Mendieta was out in his native country in Argentina, gave an interview to Andile and Mazola out in Argentina, and confirmed that he's close to sealing a move to Greece.
Well, let's hold it. Let's hold it. We're going to get into all of that, and I'm hoping that you're going to give us an update. The month has ended as far as Itumeleng Khune is concerned. We can confirm at least one thing, that Itumeleng Khune and Kaizer Chiefs, but we'll confirm that because at the moment Kaizer Chiefs have confirmed a lot, including their goalkeeper coach, which once again was something that we had said and we'd spoken about on this show, but this is the one thing they're yet to confirm. So we'll get into a little bit of that. I started off, Mazola, by speaking about what Orlando Pirates are currently doing with a 3-part documentary that is out. I have never been so enthralled by television before. It is the most exciting watch, and it's not even about football. It's a great story. It's a great documentary. It's a great coverage of the season that was.
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch it. The Cosafa ongoing now. But obviously, I'm sure I'll catch it on the repeat. It should still be there because I don't think that kind of content is a once-off sort of prime time television, and then
you must watch
I'll
that
have plenty of time to. Yeah, I'm missing out. I've seen snippets of it on social media, but I don't have the context. Andile, Tito batla unkana le skipper, that's over.
Hey, what's wrong with washing? It's
I'll catch it.
You better. I mean, congratulations once again to Orlando Pirates. It's great seeing that. Sundowns also getting a bit of a nod as far as their social media is concerned, and the access that they give to people with what they try and do. They've got the magazine that came out last week, with exclusive conversations and content that come from the chairman. You've got Cape Town City. They were the leaders at some point when it came to social media and access to their beloved fans as well. Those three I can think off the top of my head that get a nod. Is there anybody else? I don't think so. That's it, yeah? I think it's those three teams.
Yeah, Cape Town City were leading the charge, and then obviously, Orlando Pirates did something over the last year and a half or so that just, I guess, when you start winning trophies, you come alive,
Well, let's start with the show. Let's begin perhaps with all things happening from the weekend. F1, the Austrian GP, the drama that happened and ensued there. Here's a little bit of the commentary from there.
The green flag at the back tells us we go racing in 5 lights time. And the Austrian Grand Prix is underway in 2016 between the Mercedes pair. And now on lap 63, Lando Norris slows it down. That one will count if he can stand on the power. Max Verstappen was off the road to maintain the place. There'll be all sorts of investigations there. Game on once again. This time it's the outside line. Oh, they made contact. He's got a puncher. He's damaged his front wing. The leading contenders for the World Championship come together at turn 3. The crowd can't believe it. And George Russell will be looking at the gap. He's the man in third after Verstappen and Norris come together chasing the lead.
Incredible.
George, you can win this. You can win this, George.
Just have a drive.
And Norris is struggling. George Russell is catching the pair of them. The man who's got one victory in Formula One might be about to take the lead.
Nice. Oh my God.
There it is. There's the moment. George Russell into the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Can you believe what we're seeing? Verstappen and Norris fighting lap after lap. And it's the door swung wide open for George Russell, who leads Carlos Sainz by 2.2 seconds. Another Grand Prix to remember round here. Something about this place into turn number 3 just provides endless action, endless drama, and the beneficiary, the winner, George Russell.
UK's George Russell in the Mercedes coming first there. The McLaren, Sainz in the Ferrari in third, and Lewis Hamilton finishing in fourth in the Mercedes. And in fifth position was Max Verstappen, the champion in the Red Bull car. Here's what he had to say on what went wrong.
It's unfortunate. It's stuff that you don't want to see happening. It's as simple as that. Of course, I will look back at it because, I mean, of course, at the moment, it's easy to say stuff. I think it's better to just look back at the footage of what exactly went wrong, because it was a bit of I would say, an awkward angle that we touched, something that, is very weird, and also for both of us to get a puncture with it was, really bad. But we also did so many things wrong throughout the race that we put ourselves, in a position like that. So those are also things that we have to look at to improve.
That was Max Verstappen, of course, who finished outside of the top 4, with even Lewis Hamilton finishing ahead of him, and was a 1-4 for the Mercedes, the Ferrari taking the third position there. George Russell with the winner there. Let's move on now to cricket news in the T20 World Cup. South Africa beaten by India in the final. Aiden Markram says, well, at least we reached our first ever final.
Get to our first final, like I mentioned a few days ago, is something we can be proud of. It's still, in our eyes, not good enough. You're not satisfied with making a final, but still, I think it'll take a bit of time for us to reflect back on all the good things that we've done, but obviously for the time being, it just hurts a little.
He goes on to speak about the loss in the final.
Yeah, it's tough. This group's a great bunch of people. In my opinion, deserved really good things that ought to go their way, and had a really good feeling about this competition before we came here, and then as the competition went on, that feeling got stronger and stronger. So pretty tough to deal with now, but it's sport at the end of the day. Someone's going to win, someone's going to lose.
That lose was us. We've lost South Africa. And I'm in two minds about it. I wanted us to win. I wanted us to taste this for the first time. But also, like I said, we need to have the conversation on representation as far as this is concerned. This is the furthest, and that conversation doesn't go away now, because this is the furthest any South African team have ever been. No South African team have ever been to a final. No South African team have ever been to a final. When we got to a semi-final in 99, there was one black person in the team. We got to the final now, 2024, one black person in the team. And then there's the corner that says, do you see what happens when you heavy the team and slog them down with black people? Then we don't achieve. It's a conversation we're going to have, and I'm hoping we're going to have it this week, Timmy, because I don't want to, continue just speaking on it. We're going to have it. Let's switch our focus now to the Euros. Jude Bellingham scoring a cracker for England, and then with the goal to say people speak a lot of, I think you said, rubbish?
Playing for England is an enjoyable feeling, but it's also a lot of pressure. You hear people talk a lot of rubbish, and it's nice that when you deliver, you can give them a little bit back. It's very difficult in press conferences and interviews and things like that to talk as openly as footballers want to, because they're always judged. And for me, football and being on the pitch, scoring goals, celebrating is my release, and it's maybe a message to a few people.
It could be a message to a few people, but I think the message could be louder if England played better. Yes, they won the match and they through from the round of 16, but they have not had a great tournament. And yes, they scored 2 goals, including the Jude Bellingham, but even he has not had a great tournament in his own standards, including in the match where he scores that brilliant goal. Gareth Southgate is the coach in England. He's questioning their performances, rightfully so.
Everybody, I'm sure, will still quite understandably be questioning our performances. I understand that. But we've got some qualities that have kept us in this. That's not to be underestimated. I'm so proud of how the players have stuck together and the leadership they've shown, not only on the pitch, but back at the base. And that's hugely important for us.
I don't know. Gareth Southgate and this England team, some of the best players in the world right now. Top goal scorer in Germany. The best player in La Liga, the best player in England, the 3 top leagues in the world. They best players right now play for this English team. Yeah? You've got Foden, you've got Jude, you've got Kane, but they're not playing like a team like that. Spain at the moment looking a little bit better than they are. Let's move on now to Harman Mkelele and the South African national team in Cosafa. Mkelele is winless in the tournament.
Any results apart from the win will definitely send us home, because we might not know what will be happening in the other game between Mozambique and Botswana. So it won't be in our hands. So for us, it is crucial that we do the business against Eswatini by making sure that we score more goals and we don't concede, because the goal difference will come to a factor. So it is important that we keep the clean sheet and we try to score as many goals as possible.
With all due respect, we're speaking about Mozambique, Botswana, and Eswatini. That was our group. We're yet to win a match in that group with the players that we have. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's take a break. When we come back, Mazola Malif is here with all that's happened over this past weekend as far as news is concerned. And the big one, it has been finalized. It's done as far as Itumeleng Khune is. He hasn't been mentioned with the players leaving Naturena. What does that mean? And also, Sundowns, they've opened the floodgates, haven't they?
We stay connected no matter where you are or where we are. Metro FM. It's where you want to be. Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM.
It's Sports Night Amplified on a Friday. It's Podcast Friday. It's Nadim Piso as well as Pro Pilane. Orlando Pirates has reinforced. Gilberto has come in and joined Orlando Pirates with much fanfare and excitement. Amazulu spokesperson and SABC sports researcher Pro Pilane.
Top player with Andile. I saw him at AFCON. He's similar to Spirit Matang of TF Galaxy. And he's going to give you that Jersey Queen type of running down the top line.
Jersey Queen?
Yes.
How old are you when you watch Jersey Queen?
Excuse me. I watched Jersey Queen, my man.
Yeah.
That's a guy that Orlando Pirates side. And this is a guy that's going to give them a lot of wins. I'm excited for Pirates fans. He's going to be in the Champions League.
6 to 7 p.m. Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sports.
Oh man, I forgot to do the hashtag Ask Mazola or Ask the Principal. But if you do have questions, just send them through the voice notes. Normally we do that on social media so that the guys can prepare some answers and they're not necessarily caught off guard. Mazola, let's go straight to you. You've got a lot to talk about, a lot happening at the moment.
Yeah, a lot happening, Andile. If I could ask, maybe a little bit later also, Timmy can just find that interview that I did with the Angola coach, Pedro Gonçalves, talking about Gilberto, the new winger that's joined Orlando Pirates.
Got you.
Quite some interesting things to say. One of them being obviously wanting the player to work a lot harder because he's a star player. He was too comfortable in Angola playing for Pedro de Luanda. And also I asked him, does he lose something when he comes from a team that's regularly played CAF interclub competitions to one that struggled in CAF interclub competitions? And he also had some interesting discussions, or some thoughts rather, about that as well. We mentioned earlier, Junior Mendieta gave an interview in Argentina while he was on holiday to a local radio station there, and he says, quite interesting, that the club is in discussions with another team in Greece to finalize a move for him. This is a player that joined from Stellenbosch, just over 10 million to get him across from Stellenbosch FC to Kloorkop. One season, and looks like he's headed out with a move pending. But the club hasn't said. They might have confirmed a few movements this afternoon, but they are quiet on the Mendieta saga.
Wow, and this happens all the time when players go home. I guess maybe because they're a lot familiar and relaxed, they end up saying things that they don't say when they're here. But having lost Serginho Mendieta, saying he's Greece bound, this could be a big knock for the Sundowns.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. It happens with us here in South Africa as well. When we have our European-based players come home, they are free to talk to us. I suppose because they are more familiar with us as journalists in their native country. And I'm not surprised. I've had interviews with Gift Links during the off season. I've had interviews with Lebu Piri, both playing in Denmark and France respectively, and usually they are comfortable because I've traveled when they're playing the national team. So I'm not surprised Mendieta also just kind of let the cat out the bag. Maybe it was something that the club obviously had been planning to announce in the coming weeks. But let's see. Mendieta is supposed to report back for pre-season on Wednesday, I believe. From judging by that interview, it doesn't sound like he's flown back to South Africa to report for pre-season, but we'll keep an ear out.
When is Mendieta supposed to be back? Isn't he supposed to be back this week?
They're supposed to be back this week. Some of the players, excluding, I suppose, those who are on international duty, have been given longer, but some of the players trickled in for medical tests this week, and proper full pre-season also starts this week before Sundowns, by the way, head out to Austria for that pre-season camp as well, where they're going to play a few friendly matches with some top European sides.
All right, what else you have?
You mentioned Itumeleng Khune. Obviously, the club has not announced anything yet, but as far as we know, from what we discussed last week as well, the club isn't keen on offering him a new contract extension. But I could only, my wild guess here is that they are planning a grand farewell, just as they did with the likes of Shaba when they were leaving, Katande when they were leaving. They don't generally announce them at the same time as other players who spent only a few years at the club. I mean, Khune has been at Kaizer Chiefs since he was 13 years old. There's no room for him as a goalkeeper in the roster for the 2024-25.
So what we can say, Mazola, is that he will not play for Chiefs this season. That has been discussed, and Khune has been let go from Kaizer Chiefs, although yet to be confirmed by the club. But they are yet to make that announcement. But what we do know for sure, as it was of Friday, Itumeleng Khune no longer a Kosi.
No longer a Kosi. The contract ended on the 30th of June. And obviously, it was an open discussion that should he wish to continue training with the club, he could use the facilities or the premises, whether that's training with the first team or training on his own or with the reserve team. Perhaps that's a matter that has a bit of ambiguity there. Is not clear from.
Hold on. Let me understand you.
Yes.
So Kaizer Chiefs have released Khune as a player. But because of the relationship they have, they've said, no, you can still use our facilities to train.
Correct. My understanding is that if he wants to keep fit at Naturena, he is free to do that. But he, like I said, he is not going to be on the roster for next season. At this stage, as things stand, the incoming technical team has not made a recommendation for Khune, or officially, that is, to have him as part of the squad. The club did say a year ago that this was his final contract, and as things stand, there's no withdrawing that decision or.
And it has been told?
It has been informed. You mentioned last week as well that you had information that there was a conversation between him, young Chincha, and senior Chincha as well, with regard to his future. So Itu is well aware that he's not going to have his contract renewed as a senior member of the team. If anything, maybe there could be something behind the scenes that we have not been told of at the moment, but he's not going to be a Kaizer Chiefs registered player.
Right, I'm glad we've put to that story to rest. We'll wait and see what Kaizer Chiefs say coming up next, because there was conversations here and there that no, he's been given an extra year. We can confirm to you that Itumeleng Khune has been released as a player, yet to be confirmed by the club, but it is official. Because, hey, Mazola said so. What else do you have?
Timmy informs me that we can go to those clips where Coach Pedro Gonçalves speaks a little bit about Gilberto, what he could offer the Buccaneers and what he hopes this means for the Angolan national team.
Well, this is it. This is the new player that Amapagania, excited to have in the team. Let's have the first one. This is Gonçalves speaking on Gilberto.
Orlando is a very good team in Africa, very good conditions, facilities, and I guess could be a step more for Gilberto. I think he needed to go for abroad to live and growing himself personally.
Nadeem on Friday, when we're speaking about Gilberto having signed for Orlando Pirates, said he was worried about his attitude. He was worried about his mental strength. Let's hear what the coach had to say in a conversation with Mazola on distractions.
He has a lot of skills, for sure, for Orlando Pirates. I believe will be a great player, a key player for them. But it's very important for Gilberto to focus on the work, focus in the future, because he's an important player also for us. But he must to focus really on the field, on the work. And if everybody get that information to Gilberto, I don't know what. Yeah, I believe could be one of the best ones in the next season here in South Africa.
I know, having watched the Orlando Paris documentary, Mazola?
Andile, I did get a little bit worried the amount of times that Coach Pedro said he really needs to focus off the pitch and on the pitch. I got a little bit worried, but time will tell. Time will tell. Let's go now to a surprise that Sekhukhune made in recent days. Just yesterday, was it? Announcing Peter Haibala as their new manager, who, if you look at his record, he's quite the journeyman. Obviously, having coached in his native Germany, gone to Breda, gone to a couple of countries. He's been in Turkey, he's been in Sweden, he's been all over the place. He signed a 3-year contract with Sekhukhune United, who obviously had been looking for a permanent replacement for Lekgono Siema. They had been linked to Morena Ramoribudi, they'd been linked to Dan Malisela, but they scooped all of us in announcing the 48-year-old German/Dutch national who holds a UEFA Pro license, and his preferred formation being the 3-4-1-2. In Mzansi,
Panna.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, but he's also, I've done a bit of research. He's also got some, I don't want to call it a bad streak, but in terms of where he's been in the past, he's left the job on the back of some disagreements, either with management or fallout with players. But I'm told this was addressed, in conversation with the club as he was being interviewed for the job, and it's water under the bridge now. And we expect him to not be so because Mzansi, you must watch that pirate documentary and see where South African players will deal with you. But all the best to Coach Peter Haibala as he takes over as the head coach of Sekhukhune United. And then just finally, Richards Bay chairman Jomo Biela has kept to his promise that 230,000 rand that was owed to Kenyan international of Viela Ochieng has been paid, and that FIFA ban has been lifted, and the club is now able to continue to register players after surviving relegation and look ahead to the 2024-25 season.
Well, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for, an injection of new coaches. People speak about recycling of coaches so much in this country, and we've seen what some new coaches that have arrived have done. Look at what happened at TS Galaxy when they brought in a brand new coach. Look at what happened at Orlando Pirates when they brought a coach that we didn't know. So maybe it is okay to bring in some new blood. Not everybody is, what was his name? Marumen Amazul. No, his real name.
Romain Falls.
No, as long as it's not Romain Falls. It's currently said about Falls. Hi. Is that it?
And as a parting shot, Andile, there is now a South African coach who's been abroad that's now available. Former Bafana international left back, one of my favorite players of all time. Bradley Cannell has parted company with St. Louis City out in the MLS, where coincidentally he was involved in recruiting Jabulo Blom to come play in the MLS. He's now, after 2 years of being in charge there in the MLS, they've parted company and is available. Hey, maybe whoever is looking, Bradley is your guy.
Timmy, let's get a conversation going with Bradley. Let's find out where his mind is. Mazola Molefe out in Port Elizabeth. Hope you're having a splendid time. Thank you so much for joining us. What's going on, Vic?
No, Galaxy Patetina. Leona by Benile.
Yeah, Leona by Benile, but the ban has not been lifted yet. But the chairman committed, the same way Jomo Biela committed. Tim Sukazi said he will pay the money. It's just around 1.8 million. It's a little bit more than 230,000. So if you want to start a crowd fund, when Tatana, you can help Tim Sukazi.
He's got time right now. He's got time. When are you going to brief us on what's happening with Royal AM? Are they selling? Are they not selling? Is Jomo Cosmos coming back via Royal AM? Do you know anything that's going on there?
I'm not too sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if Royal AM are selling. Of course, they also still have a 6-window transfer ban, obviously owing money to Samir Nukovic as well as Ricardo Nascimento. They also have that 37 million rand tax bill as well. But Jomo Cosmos going from amateur to buying a top flight status, I'm not too sure.
Appreciate him. His name is Mazala Molefe. He's out of here. We're going to release him because he's out in PN. Ubambile, so hey, anya kunna mo phone for too long. Thank you so much, Mazala.
Super Instagram followers.
What are your handles? Go for it.
The same as my Twitter handle and Facebook, Super Journey. Please give me a follow on Instagram.
Hey, he's so desperate for these followers. One more tip is something, ne? Super Journal. I appreciate you. He's out of here. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we hear from Tatan.
Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM.
It's Sports Night Amplified on a Friday. It's Podcast Friday. It's Nadim Piso as well as Pro Pilane. Orlando Pirates has reinforced. Gilberto has come in and joined Orlando Pirates with much fanfare and excitement. Amazulu spokesperson and SABC sports researcher Pro Pilane.
Top player with Andile. I saw him at AFCON. He's similar to Spiwe Matang of TF Galaxy. And he's going to give you that Jersey Queen type of running down the top line.
Jersey Queen?
Yes. How old are you when you watch Jersey Queen?
Excuse me. I watch Jersey Queen, my man.
Yeah.
There's a guy that Orlando Pirates has signed, and this is a guy that's going to give them a lot of wins. I'm excited for Pirates fans. He's going to be an interesting signing.
6 to 7 p.m. Join us in celebrating Mandela Month.
Our daily duties as ordinary South Africans,
honoring the life and legacy of a global icon,
must produce an actual South African reality.
Together, let's make a difference. Metro FM.
All this we owe both to ourselves,
celebrating the legacy of Nelson Mandela,
and to the peoples of the world.
It's where you want to be. Hashtag the weekend that was.
That is the final whistle.
On Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
It's exactly 1841 in the mighty Metro FM. Welcome to it. This is Sports Night Amplified with Ndile, reflecting back on the weekend that was. Tatane normally looks at refereeing decisions made over the weekend, and we go into them and scrutinize them, right or wrong. But today, it's got something different. There are new changes to the laws of football that are in effect as of today.
Yeah, thank you. This comes direct from FIFA. It says changes and clarification for the laws of the game 2024-2025. The next edition of the laws of the game, which will come into effect on the 1st of July 2024, will feature the following changes and clarification. Right, let's go to number 1. Law 1 and 2, no changes. Law 3, the players. What has changed under Law 3? Additional permanent concussion substitution to be a competition option in accordance with the necessary protocol.
I have no idea what you just said.
What does it mean? It means if there's collusion of the players by the head, that is called concussion. When there's concussion now, the competition rules are given option to can allow an additional substitution if they approve this. So this is given to competition rules like the NSL. If
you have to take out a player because they've suffered a concussion, you're allowed to replace them even though you might have used up all your substitutes.
Exactly. So, but now the NSL need to approve this because if you look, NSL have got doctors that can say yes or no, and they have a way of examination.
Yeah, but what we're saying is, if the player has gotten concussion,
yes, only and how do you see that? The doctors in the PSL will go to the player and say, take out one finger and say, how many fingers can you see? And then if the player say 4. Surely that player cannot see. But in amateur football, now, I haven't seen any doctor or physio examining a player like that. So at the PSL level, there's an option for NSL to allow. That's one.
So how many substitutions is that now in football? 6?
5.
Well, I mean, with this edition.
No, it will be 5, but if you play a competition match, then you are allowed, when you go to extra time, you're going to go for 6.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it's going to be 6. that are allowed in any given time, like with that?
If
it goes into extra time, then you're not another one. So that's 6.
Yes.
We went from 3 to 6.
Not to 5.
Well, yes, but 6 all in all. But 5, yes, in a normal 90 minutes.
Yes. And then now when if a concussion is absorbed, then we'll go for 6. But it's only under special. Under. You know, it has big question
Does
marks.
this man listen to me when I speak? That's what I'm saying. With the addition of this, then it's 6.
Okay, let's hold it there. It's 6. Yeah, it's because the 7-1 is competition. So in a normal league match, there's no extra time. So it's 6.
Gee, was from 3 to 6.
Yeah, if NSL approve it.
Does this better football?
Concussion, if you lose a player through concussion, it's not a sub by the coach. It's a forced sub. That is the reasoning behind. It's a forced sub where a player is injured, he can't continue because of the injury. And then the doctors now, I did one game where Dr. Ngwenya took out a player. I think it was a Chiefs match at FNB. He just said, how many fingers can you see? The player said 4. Doctor said concussion, substitution. I'm like, eh? And then the player was substituted. So the doctors play a very important role in this one.
All right, what else?
Right, still under low 3, there's another one, the wearing of a captain armband. It says each team must have a team captain who wears an identified armband. This was not a law for a player to wear an armband. If you look at the match on the weekend of Lindeland Ladies and Mamelodi Sundowns, the captains, when they started the match, they did not have armband. But from today, any match that is played, we expect the captain to have an armband. If you don't wear an armband, it's a misconduct of which you will be told to go out and get something. Maybe you'll get a bandage or whatever, but you need to wear an identified armband. Right, we're moving over to law number 4, players' equipment. It says players are responsible for the size and suitability of their shin guards, which remains a compulsory part of their equipment. Hey, machine guard my ass. Right? Now the law is saying you are responsible for that equipment. So now if you wear a small one and they kick you, now the risk is on you. So there we cannot enter much, but you must have a shin guard. Some people use a card box. It's not allowed. You must have a shin guard. Right. Let's go again to law number 12. False and misconduct. It talks about handball offenses that are not deliberate and for which penalties are awarded are to be treated in the same way as other fouls. What does it mean, Ma'a? If you challenge for the ball and you commit an offense which results in a penalty, when the penalty is given, yellow card will not be given because you are challenging for the ball. So now FIFA is saying the same way as if you do a handball, which you will be cautioned now, and penalties awarded, you should not be getting a yellow card because you were challenging for the ball in that situation. So therefore, it should be treated the same. If you commit an offense using a hand inside the penalty area, penalties awarded, no more a yellow card for you. The last one, it's penalties. There's what we call encroachment when we do a penalty. Penalties awarded, and then before the kick is taken, players enters the penalty area. Now, it's an infringement on its own, of which if the keeper saves the ball and the defender encroaches, a retake must be given. So now, FIFA is saying if that encroachment does not have an impact, then play should be allowed to continue.
Oh, wow. So if there's an extra player in the box during a penalty,
yes,
if it doesn't have an impact on the actual penalty, according to the referee, that penalty will stand?
Yeah. Exactly. So now you have seen many encroachment. There's many, and the people will be saying, no, it was supposed to be retake. Now FIFA is saying if it does not have an impact on the kicker, then play should be allowed to continue.
Wow. Okay, that's one that. Well, thank you very much. Your non-content having self did well.
Yeah, today
you did okay.
The 1st of July content.
There you go. You did okay. Every 1st of July, new rules come into the game. Those are just some of them. 2 stick out for me there. The penalty one. I would have liked FIFA to review penalty takers. I think it is unfair on goalkeepers the way that penalties are currently getting taken. You know, the trickery that players have of moving slowly, lifting a leg slowly, and then fasting. I think it's an unfair advantage. The penalties already are not fair on the keepers. You know, they are at the disadvantage in this regard. I just think that something should be done with that. I mean, I've seen some atrociously taken penalties, and keepers, they move off the line quickly because they think you're about to take, and then it's a retake. So at the moment, it's highly advantageous to the takers than it is to goalkeepers, and it should be fair. Should be a 50-50. It should be fair. Let's take a break. When we come back, I see your calls. Let's take them. It's 086-000-2160. WhatsApps on 060-552-7303.
We stay connected no matter where you are or where we are. Metro FM. It's where you want to be. All right, here we go. Call Metro FM now on 0860 002160. Drop us a voice note on 060 552 7303. Waking up, I'm too turned up.
Good evening, good evening, Hey, brah. Hey, I was watching that game also. Indians are very good in cricket, I must say. We are also good. We played very, very well. There's a moment I was saying to my friend, yeah, we got them now. The time you were tweeting, we got them. And I asked you Nagalab. Okay. But I'm proud of the team. They did what they need to do.
No, they didn't. They need to win.
They did it very well, and hard luck to them. They must try next time.
Budiandi le dumela mokamedi wa ka. Dumela ke kopa go mpotsetse Dr. Mazola mo hore na ebe o tseba jwang ka mokotlisi wa Kaizer Chiefs, because ne kutlile go finally bapala today ka Monday, but ka bona hore ka re finally ha se bapalwa because of ka gona le funeral kwana Morocco. So ke kopa go mpotsetse yena hore na ebe o tseba ha kae go tlo etsa jwang ka mokotlisi Chiefs e ntse tla emela go mokotlisi a bapale finally hore na e tla ba ka October, hore na e tla ba ka November. So Chiefs tla nne emele mokotlisi go bapale final kapo hantle go keto ho etsa la jwa mohlomong ka ho ya ka tsebonyana ya haina. Ke kopa go mpotsetse yena.
Yeah, I mean the answer is pretty simple. The coach is only going to come when he's done. Until then, there's nothing that can happen. They keep postponing this final. It's the second postponement now, but his entire team is here. Let's go to Facebook very quickly. Those watching live, Usbu Siso says, it's spelled Usbu Siso. Concussion. What if it happens twice for the same team?
If it happened twice, that's an option that the league must decide. If they say yes, then the player will be taken out, another one comes in.
So then we can see 7, 8, 9 substitutions.
If it's concussion.
If it's concussion.
Too much concussion.
So we could have a game that's got like all these substitutions, as long as it's concussion. All right, Mazola Malefe has answered to the question. He says the final is still playing. Nabi should be on his way afterwards. So up until then, he's going to be on there. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. That's what it is, 6 p.m. Right, Miani Mabasa, I can't say that here. I don't even agree. Terence Andrews, it's time for the AMA 2000 to shine. Sorry to Mr. Kune. Kune needs to accept that his time at Chiefs is over. Mazola Nele Ndliki says, don't worry, I follow you. Apparently, Mazola, we bully the ref. We must stop bullying you, ref. Apparently, we bully you. The final started at 6. The score is currently 1-1. Karabo Mutsi. Thank you so much for that one there. Nabi is in the final. It's playing. The score is currently 1-1. Appreciate that there. That's everybody that's watching currently on Facebook. Let's hear what you have to say in voice notes, and then I want to take some calls. Akona no Nino Sianda.
Andile, my brother, you know what caught my attention this weekend was the game between Switzerland and Italy. I thought
what a game.
Italy were going to win straight away, but it happened that they lost to Switzerland. It was embarrassing, according to me, because I know Italy to be too much defensive. But it wasn't to be.
Guys, Italy is not what they used to be.
At last.
After they lost that World Cup.
It's football, and football has changed. It's Moses Mukwena. Thank you.
Yeah, Moses, they haven't been great since they won the World Cup, rather, is Italy. I want to take calls. Let's go to Akona. Akona's out in East London, wants to speak about the rules. Well, the man is here, Akona, so go for it.
Good evening to you. My question is about this penalty rule. My question is that if then the player that will go into the 18 area will interfere with the goalkeeper, what is FIFA saying about that? Because it seems like they are only focusing on the kicker. They don't focus on a goalkeeper. Because remember, also goalkeeper must be also be considered in this situation.
So if the infringement, because you said if the infringement infringes on the player kicking, what about the goalkeeper? Is the goalkeeper considered in this regard?
Yeah, this one was brought by you, but I'm happy to give clarity. If the goalkeeper encroaches...
No. If an extra player encroaches into the box and infringes the goalkeeper, maybe you're disturbing him because now he's got his eye on you or whatever. Because you're saying that if it infringes on the player, but what about the goalkeeper is what he's asking.
You mean encroachment? If
the encroachment infringes on the goalkeeper.
Remember, the other players are very far from the goalkeeper, 18 meters away from the goalkeeper.
Because that's where the box line is.
Yeah, it's too far, so it's difficult for you to get infringe on the goalkeeper.
So the answer is no. It only considers the player, Akona.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think it's still unfair. Okay, ma.
Appreciate it. Let's go to Noni. Noni, I appreciate you, man. Noni's out. Ooh, Noni's gone there. Who else is there? Rulani. Want to speak about Sundowns. Is it that Rulani?
Andile.
Okay, no, it's not that Rulani.
Andile to Masenbrano.
Hey.
Tatan.
Mifukilos.
Yeah, finene. Kuhlamba kati donke kuvumbuluka kokwana.
Akenza wotsi man.
Andile.
Yes, sir.
Bona ne. This documentary, Pirates documentary. What is it really doing to players?
What do you mean?
Paseka I was watching, ne?
Yeah.
Paseka he's talking about Lodge.
He is.
Ne?
Yeah.
It seems like Lodge, he was disciplined. He didn't have discipline, right? So
he was what? What are you saying? He was what?
Lodge didn't have discipline.
He was ill-disciplined, okay, yeah?
Yes, within the Pirate squad.
Yeah.
Now he's gone to Sundowns. I saw also Toki and
Tito.
Yeah. So now they are showing us what's going on in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Yes, as supporters, we enjoy. But what is it really doing to that everyone is seeing now? That Tito, he had a tussle with Toki. I think it's creating some bad feeling to supporters about Tito Maswangani. I don't know if you understand.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying because you're saying now you watching this is going to give you feelings towards the other. You're going to support the one and not the other. It's going to be divisive to you as fans as well. But I think the important thing here is they're saying this is a season we had some difficulties. I mean, if you listen to what Tito says there, he even says he recognizes that he was wrong. And he recognizes, he recognizes that he was wrong, and he recognizes when he drove home, he could tell, hey man, I didn't handle that right. I could have handled it better. So he then grows from that moment and moving forward becomes a better person. So it tells you that even players have a lot to overcome during a season. And I think Pirates is not showing you a story of weakness, but they're showing you a story of triumph, where players had to overcome things and triumph over certain issues. Yeah, many of you are saying, yeah, but Lodge is not there to answer for himself. But guys are telling you from their own perspective. It would be nice to have a Lodge say, yeah, but. But, you know, he's speaking about it himself, and Lodge maybe will tell his story too. But I hear what you're saying. Let's go to Sianda. Sianda's out in Gallo Manor, wants to speak about the cricket. Sianda.
How are you?
Better than you, because clearly you expected us to win.
Look, I want to keep it short. See, it matters, diversity matters, and not just for the sake of representation, not just for the sake of color, but for the sake of ideas. I think our team needs diversity just so that we can have different kinds of minds in the team that think in different ways, and then bring different elements to the team, because the way the coaches are set up for the last 20 years, I've been watching cricket. It's just the same story. It's the same thing, and you're thinking. My thinking is, look, why diversity wouldn't hurt? Like cricket SA must look at themselves in the mirror here and really answer why are they failing in this respect? Because it's not just a racial thing, but it's also you're limiting us. You're limiting the ideas that could come up. Thank you, Ma.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're going to have that conversation in its fullness. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Congratulations and welcome to the incoming Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton McKenzie.
Oh, Mackenzie.
Yeah, Mackenzie is the new Minister of Sport. Hey. And the first thing that he's had to say is spinning of vehicles is going to be a big sport. That's what he's putting his money behind. You know? He says that there. That there is going to... Gayton, I can't wait to host you here, buddy. I can't wait to have you. Faith. He can't stop spin.
You know what? It's the photograph where he's taking a photograph and he's putting on boots.
Yeah,
and he's saying ready, steady.
He says ready, steady, I'm good to go.
Ready, steady, I'm good to go. Oh, South Africa is alive with possibility. It really is South Africa. You know, we are alive with possibilities.
Gayton McKenzie. Yeah?
Yep. Like, if you had asked Gayton 10 years ago or 15 years ago, would he envisage himself one day being the Minister of Sports?
You know what he was doing
having a
15 years
political
ago?
Party, but being the Minister of Sports, I am sure this conversation
15 years ago, he was, we were clubbing at his club there at ZAR.
There, ZAR in Sandton.
When the World Cup was here, he wasn't out watching games, he was taking our money there in Sandton. Gayton McKenzie.
To Minister. South Africa is truly alive with possibilities.
Listen, you
we're
can do
alive.
it. Piso, me, I'm backing you. You're going to send the first African to space on the moon. It can happen. I can't wait to host him, to hear more of his ideas. This is the most radical Minister of Sport I think we're going to have in a long time. Out the gates, and we're spinning cars. Out the gates, you. Hey, Faith.
Hey, Andy.
I was waiting. I was, giving respect to Tatane so he can leave. He says he's a married man, and our conversations.
He doesn't want to be part of our conversations.
No. He says he's a married man. When he gets home, his wife asks him. Speaking of which, since we're here, I have many married friends. Most of my friends are married. I'm but a spare wheel mostly. When you're in a relationship, when you're in a serious relationship, is there boys' time? How do you feel about hanging around single guys that are still having the time of their lives from your potential partner?
I think it's needed.
I
think it's good. I think it's, you know what? Because I think that we need to always, and I love the unity and I love bond. I love marriage. I really do. I'm a romantic. I'm a hopeless romantic. So I love marriage. I love a bond. But I do think that we need to always remember that we're individuals first.
Okay.
So that we never lose sight of who we are, especially women. I cannot tell you how many conversations I've had with women that are married who say, I lost myself in my husband, or I lost myself in my children, I lost myself in my family, and I do not know who I am outside of them. And I think it's very imperative for us to, and I'm not saying we're going to get it right all the time. I think we get it wrong most of the time, but I think the intention is there, or should be there, to remember that you're an individual first. So if Andile needs to go and hang out with the boys, and I'm not saying go and do things that are silly, but go and have fun with the boys, go make jokes that boys make jokes of, go sit and refresh yourself. Because sometimes I think that we've got empty cups. You're so busy being a husband, a provider, a protector, a homemaker, a stable eye and whatever. And when do you have a time to be just a boy or just a guy? And I think you need it. I think every man and I think every woman needs to be a girl. And I think every man needs a time to be a boy. And I think it only helps the relationship. As long as you're not, during your boy time, going and soliciting other relationships and trying to be with other women, that means that you're being silly. You're no longer being that.
You understand when I say, hey, all the guys are bringing wives, so let's go. And then in the same breath, when I say, hey, Bona, this trip, Kimajita, or this night, Kimajita, we're not bringing wives.
No, go have fun. No, I do, but and I truly, genuinely believe, as long as the fun does not involve you having fun with other women, because I think that is crossing a boundary that I'm going to break up with you for. That's a boundary that I do not even want to entertain. But if you're going to go as much, then you're going to have fun and genuinely you stay up and you go and do. You know what, baby, go do your thing.
As a girlfriend, you and I are girlfriends, girlfriend and boyfriend. A friend of mine who's got a partner that you've met one of these times, it's got someone else now that's not their wife or girlfriend. What is your reaction and how far does your duty stretch here? This is my friend.
Yeah. And then your friend has got another person.
Yeah,
who's
quaps.
Quaps. Oh, okay. It's a very controversial one, but my honest is that first I will talk to you about it, right? As my partner.
It's none of my business.
No, but I have to talk to you as my partner and say, how, and hear me out. If your friends feel so comfortable in walking hand in hand or in being in your presence with people who are not their wives, let's call them their sides. Ne? Your friend is so comfortable with being with their side in your presence. I worry because then when I'm not around, who are you with?
See, then that's where this conversation goes. That's why we ask, are you comfortable with me being with the boys? Because I have no stretch. I have no control of what they do. And it's not my duty to go tell anybody anything by Yetzangbon.
Yeah, but then I'm sure you'll be able to say, listen, I've had a conversation with him, babe. This is what you're going to see. This is what you're going to acknowledge, etc. But I have a fundamental problem with us being in situations where if your friend feels comfortable in bringing somebody who's not their wife in your presence, that means that, and I truly believe birds of a feather flock together.
This is why I was
So what are you guys, no, but then what are you guys talking about? What are you guys engaging in?
I am not my friends, Faith. I am not my friends.
But
they
why
can
do your
do
friends
as
feel
they
so
please.
safe in being in your presence with another
Because I
woman?
am not judgmental of their lives.
But then you are supposed to hold your friends to account and get
No.
as much as
Their
you expect
wives
them
are
to hold.
supposed to hold them to account.
And then
I'm
what do you
supposed to be
do?
the space they come to for a friend. And if this is where he's going due to whatever's going on in his home, I'm not going to sit here and judge him.
So then
I'm going to sit here and be his friend because that's what I am.
Then I'm going to appreciate you protecting me and from it and saying, you know what, I'm not bringing my woman into a situation like this because that situation is not conducive to the home that I want to build. It's your responsibility then to protect me from the nonsense that your friend is doing and saying, I value my relationship. I value my home. I'm not going to expose my home to this kind of relationship. And that is holding your friend accountable.
It's a big conversation. Faith, what do you have going on?
We're definitely keeping the fires burning on the home front this evening. This evening we're taking a look at, of course, the new cabinet analysis. It's obviously... is it less than 24 hours after President Ramaphosa announced the 7th administration in terms of cabinet? Exactly socioeconomically and the like, how is it going to look? Well, we're going to be looking at it with independent economists, Visos Kenjana, Asanda Washing as well, political analysts as well as what are we looking at for the 7th administration. Then we're getting to know, and throughout the course of the week on Metro FM Talk, you're going to hear, we're going to get to know our ministers because I think it's imperative in a government of national unity. Starting off this evening with the Freedom Front Plus, we're in conversation with Dr. Peter Groenewald, who has now become the Minister of Correctional Services. So we're going to be speaking to the Minister of Correctional Services. We're also speaking to the Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, your favorite, the leader of the UDM, General Bantu Holomisa, is in conversation with us as well this evening. Yeah, and he's in defense. He's
in the perfect place to be.
Right?
That is the perfect place to be.
But then funny enough, though, Angie Mutsecha is the Minister of Defense. But that's another conversation. Then we're also going to be in conversation with the new portfolio or the incoming Minister of COCTA. We've got the leader of IFP, and of course that is Mr. Velenkosi Tlhabisa, who is also in conversation with us. Getting to know our ministers is going to be a theme for this whole week. We're going to be bringing them into studio. You're going to be asking them questions because I think it's imperative if you're going to know what a GNU looks like.
This is sport. We want them. We must change that slogan. Abahambi. 8 after the hour 7. It's going to be an interesting conversation. I can't wait for it. Faith takes over the airwaves, produced by Dumela, of course. Amazing job they do. There's no better place to have talk than here on Metro FM Talk. Kemapara.
That's my station.
My music.
Metro FM. It's where you want to be.
Get to Checkers Liquor Shop and save extra on your game day drink selection. Get 750ml Jameson Triple Distilled Irish Whiskey for $349.99. Save 50 Rand.